What's up, gamers? It's your boy Chris here, doing another pre-tournament, not bat rep, but pre-tournament report here. Good news, I am no longer the only TO in a 30-mile radius to me. My buddy Dave is also being tapped by certain stores to start running events, and he is going to be running more events, and so that's good because in these events I can focus more on being a player instead of being a TO. Now the problem is that when I'm a TO, I kind of have to be the player as well, so that when I start talking about these things, I can say, hey, come play with me, right? Because if I don't have that, nobody else will show up, right? We need, in these small towns, you need somebody who is the activation energy for these reactions, right? Like the sugar crystals, the rock crystal, rock candies is what they're. You put the little string in there, and the sugar forms around it in that crystalline formation, right? It doesn't matter how super saturated the solution is, you need that activation energy to cause the crystallization formation, right? So that's kind of what we need, and so there has to be people who are the players, right? Who are the ones who are like come out and play, right? And but that leads me to the question here for this tournament. What team should I play? Now, of course, I'm going to play an elite team. I know they're overtuned, right? Or some of them definitely are. If you listen to Glass Half Dead, all of them are. I'm not 100% certain that I agree, but I do definitely see that they have a very big problem into some of the bottom tier teams, right? Now, I think that, for example, Angels of Death would be fine if we bump up a few of the bottom tier teams, right? You do something for poor Pathfinders and the Vespid Stingwings, Chaos Cult, do something for them, and they might. I think then we're kind of in an okay place with them, but that's a video for another time. But I'm an elite player. I've been an elite player since 2018, right? In 2018, I played two teams. I played Space Marines, and I played Thousand Suns. In 2021, I played Space Marine. I played Angels of Death, Phobos, and Warp Coven. In 2024, I'm playing Angels of Death and Warp Coven, right? Like, those are my teams. I've been playing those teams since I got into the hobby, right? So Grey Knights. I also played Grey Knights in 2018. And a little bit in 2021, but not very much. But still, again, all the teams make sense, right? I'm not going to let the meta, the imbalance stop me from playing those teams. However, I might let the imbalance stop me from playing one of those teams, right? Because I have been playing Warp Coven, and I really do enjoy them, right? So the thing, I enjoy several things about them. So their durability is nice, but like if they got rid of, let's say, All Is Dust and Etheric Warding, right? If they got rid of those, I would still play this team, right? Like they could just straight out take those things away from me, and I would still play this team, right? Like that's that's what I would do. If they took the 2-up save away from the rubrics, they took up a bunch of things away, I would still probably play this team. Again, I played them in 2021, right? So, yeah, right? So what I like about them is that they are basically a TTRPG, MMO, D&D party, right? Like you got your one sorcerer, he heals, he teleports people back out of danger, right? That is your classic priest, cleric, healer type, right? And he does have a ranged attack, but it's not the ranged attack you always want to cast, right? Because it's a blast attack, and so sometimes you don't want to blast your guys, right? That's a very standard, healer archetype, right? Then you got your Doombolt sorcerer. He is your single target, range DPS. He does, he obliterates. He's a striker. He especially if he can cast the double Doombolt, right? 2 Doombolts, dead, nukes things, right? Single target damage. Very good, right? Excellent. That's your sorcerer, your, whatever kind of, I don't know if that's a ranger build in certain games or not. I don't know. But and then you got your AoE blaster with the warp fire sorcerer, right? He's there to clear up trash mobs, right? And do dots and do other things, right? Now, not really a dot, but the indirect, you can think of as kind of a dot attack, because it does little bits of damage that you don't think you're gonna get, and so yeah, right. And then the rubrics are kind of your tanks, because they take some hits, but they're kind of also your basic frontline warrior kind of guy a lot of times, just without the great melee, but they still take hits, right, and are there to kind of draw aggro, right? They're not there to the gunners the SRC can, but anyways, and a true traditional tank you really don't have, but you kind of do it in the pair of the icon bear, the Zangor icon bearer and Zangor shield guy, right? They partner up, they work together, and they are very, very tanky. Now, I mean, if you kill the icon bearer first, which is what you should do, you can do a lot of damage, then the shield gore is not that great, right? He'll survive, but he won't survive to you can just shoot him, and he'll wither under fire. But the overall, he's the pair functions as a tank, so I really like that. I also like that it's at least 3 big guys and a bunch of smaller dudes. I like that style of the big brothers and the little sisters kind of thing, right? Like, I like that notion. It's also why I like. Oh, you know what? I did play Talons in 2021. So again, elite player, like the big chunky boys, right? But I do like these mixed teams, right? I do like that concept. So I do like that style, and I do like healing. I know it's a little. I understand why the balance is not great with the healing, so I'm there in understanding that it shouldn't be. I don't know if it shouldn't be as good as it is, or if it should be more limited. I understand healing in skirmish games can be very problematic for balance. So I'm with you guys on that. That if that's what you want to say is a problem, I guess. But I really like it, though. I like the ideas of the healing, right? That's just my preferred play style. That's my preferred, you just see a lot of those kind of things. I love playing paladins, champions, what's the crusaders, guys in big shields who heal, with big shields who heal, right? Like, that is my preferred combat role in any kind of MMORPG or anything like that, right? So there's a reason why I like Warp Coven. But they're so good. They're so good, guys. I don't feel great about bringing them to a local. Because I don't want to club baby seals like that. Not yet. The edition is not big enough, not sturdy enough yet for me to do that. Not for this small environment. Like if I was going to LVO or something like that, hell yeah, I'm bringing Warp Coven, right? But I'm not. But I might be going to LVO, not actually LVO, because it's around the time of my mom's birthday. I'm never able to get out there, anyways. But I might be going to Alamo GT, the Lone Star Open. Events in Houston, I forget what it's, Warzone Houston maybe, something like that. And so I could be doing some bigger, greater than 16 person events, maybe, 30, 40, 50 person events. And Warp Coven, like I said, I'm running a 6-person MMORPG party by myself. Think about how many hot bars I have open, right? You need to get your reps in, right? I made some stupid mistakes in the Command Point Tabletop Simulator series. I'm doing well. I only lost one, but I could have probably done better and not tied one game, not lost. I was going up against JFA. I'm not sure. Maybe. But I made some very crucial mistakes in that game that cost me that game. And so when I'm going into good players, I need to get my reps in to learn to have all these things memorized, right? So, I want to bring them for that reason. But on the other hand, they might be getting nerfed, right? So I mean, they have to be getting nerfed, right? So why should I be getting reps in now for a team that is going to like learning all those hot bars and learning my quote unquote rotation, right? For a team that is not going to have those things, right? Waiting for the balance update, the data slate. My hot bars are going to get completely reconfigured, right? So what do I do then, right? How am I going to deal with that? And that's the question, right? That's what we're looking at. What do we do? How do we deal with this, right? And so that's, so maybe I play Angels of Death instead. They're a fairer team, right? I do believe that, I know Glass Half Dead has some issues with them. I can see where, and knowing that he's been trying to play Vespids into them, I can definitely see where he's coming from. But I think that's more of a Vespid problem than and maybe Vetguard, or I don't know which other Horde teams he's been trying to play into him. But I think that's more of a Vespid problem than is an Angels of Death problem, just to be honest on that. But but they are a more honest team, right? They are a big giant stat check, and if we have weaker players who just get crushed by them, well, they were going to get crushed by whatever, right? Unless they roll hot, right? If they roll hot, they're going to win, and that's fine. That's good. That will help train me to deal with things when the dice don't go my way, right? Like we do, you do all your plans and everything for okay, I'm going to move here, shoot there, he's going to die, then I'm going to dash and do all these things, right? what do you do when the dice don't go your way? How, you need to train that mental plasticity, right? That's something that you also want to make sure you have. And so that's important, and it's going to be fair. And yeah, I could play whichever team, and these players were probably going to lose. So, I think I've talked myself into it here. I think I am going to play AOD just to be ready for, like I said, the what happens if the dice don't go my way, right? Like if I completely, screw the pooch on that. With Warp Coven, because of their dice fixing, because of their piercing reduction, because of everything. I mean, you need like quadruple sixes to cause Warp Coven players to break a sweat. With Angels of Death, you get double crits, and suddenly now we got to start, now it's a game, right? Now, I'm relying on them to get like, 2 crits, so that's not going to happen that often, but over the course of 3 games, it could, right? So there's a chance that these players could help to do things. So I think I am okay with that, and just getting more of my mental plasticity. And I do like to run the 3/3 Warp Coven. So yeah, unless some of the other local, I'll see how many people show up. If I get mostly the big locals, I think I will run Warp Coven, but I think in general I'm going to be running Angels of Death. Because there's one guy who's from about 40 miles away, who's a little bit more of a competitive player, and I think I'm going to need, if he shows up, I will bring my A game just to get that full thing going there, because I think that's going to be the case here. All right, well, so waffled back and forth. I'm not going to club baby seals. I'm not intending to go club baby seals. However, if a walrus shows up, I have to bring out the big stick, right? So, could that be a euphemism, like a walrus? Is that some subculture I'm not aware of? I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Hasta la pasta.